When is that? Friday? Next week?
Welcome to Table Talk, where there's always room at the table. I am your host, Jonathan Harmon of the J. Harmon Home Team, and we can't wait to talk to these fine guests. Enjoy the show.
Yeah. All right. Happy Tuesday to everybody. We've got a live studio audience, like for real live. There's more than one. Yeah.
We don't even need the fake applause.
I know, it's kind of awesome.
We have our own applause.
It's pretty cool. Really, you just brought a fan club.
Pretty much, yeah. Mm-hmm. They are my fan club. They're my posse.
Yep.
We'll go with
your
that.
entourage.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is Table Talk with the J. Harmon Home Team. And I am Jonathan Harmon, and it is Tuesday, May 16th. School is almost out. There is 1
done.
week. I know. I'm not talking about you.
Okay.
There's one more week of school left after this one, right? Yeah. We got a head nod over there. And that's pretty exciting. I always liked summer when I was a kid. Other than the part about sweating, I didn't really care for that part.
I'm going to camp in Texas, and
you're going to sweat a lot.
I told my mom I didn't want to go because I was already tired of the hot heat.
I hear you.
I was just joking though, Mom. I still want to go. Don't worry.
So I've got all kinds of questions, and I'm going to introduce my guest here in just a minute. But before we do that, just so I don't forget, let's go ahead and hear from Brian. Can we do that, Trent?
Yes, we can. One moment, please.
All right. One moment. So Brian Nail of Premise Mortgage is a proud supporter of the Spread the Positive Network, and we're going to hear from him real quick. Thank you, Brian.
Hey, my name is Brian Nail. I'm a mortgage loan officer with Premise Bank Mortgage. I want to tell you that I absolutely love being a member of the Spread the Positive Network. It's such a great mission and helps bring so much positivity to our community. It's truly a pleasure to be part of. There are a lot of ways to navigate financing a home, and in markets like this, having the advice of a trusted local professional is key to making sure you get the right advice for your specific circumstances. Whether you're interested in the purchase of a new home, second home, or have a need for a refinance, I'd love to earn your trust. If I can help you nail your mortgage, call me at 615-243-3976 or visit nailyourmortgage.com.
Premise Mortgage is a subsidiary of Premise Bank, a member FDIC, equal housing opportunity. As always, all loans are subject to approval. Premise Mortgage, NMLS number 1894879.
All right, here we go. So Table Talk has always been about getting people from the community that are doing great things, whether they are involved in a nonprofit, they're starting a new business, there's some type of a politician, they're whatever. And it's about having a conversation that we think that people would like to hear and hopefully participate in. And I had an opportunity to get to know this young lady over the last year. And I told her mom today, so introduce here, Caitlin Reeves, my ops boss, Michelle Reeves' daughter. She just graduated from Rockville High School. And I told Michelle today, I said, your daughter's sassy, and she is almost, what was the word I used? Not rude. It wasn't rude.
Disrespectful.
Almost disrespectful. That's right.
Only towards you.
Yes. And I said, but
I said politely.
Politely disrespectful.
That's what I
Trent
called
said.
it.
Yeah. And but I said that the way that you approach things, at least your outlook from what I've interacted, is something that's going to toughen you up and make you be successful. Like, you don't take crap off of people, and that's good. And there's a balance in there, and you'll learn all that. But anyway, we'll get there. But anyway, so getting to know you a little bit, and somebody suggested, I don't remember if Michelle suggested, why don't you interview Caitlin? I was like, that's a great idea. So I'm old and disconnected, and you told me about Phoebe something or another.
Phoebe Bridgers.
Yep. And I'm like, who is that? And you're like, you don't know who that is? And I was like, why would I? And so anyway, it was just proof of concept here that I'm old and disconnected. So consider this like a PSA, right?
Okay.
You're pretty smart. You're pretty sharp.
Thanks.
You're pretty involved. And for those of you that are out there that have kids that are in high school, or they're coming up to high school, or they just graduated high school, I've got a list of questions that I feel like most parents would want to ask their kid, but don't know how to ask their kid. And since
Oh,
you're not my
God.
kid, I'm going to ask you.
Oh, yay. Well, I don't know. Now that you called me politely disrespectful, I don't know that
That's
I want to answer your question.
100% that was a compliment.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
It was absolutely a compliment. I promise. All right. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to speak
Okay.
for the 18-year-olds in America right now.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
You just got elected their spokesperson.
I'm literally the politician you were just talking about.
High five. All right. Here we go. Let's start with you a little bit. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So tell me a little bit about you, how you grew up, what kind of values your mom taught you and your dad, and what kind of things that you've learned and done. Don't look at her. She's not in here.
I'm sorry.
Just tell me a little bit about you. Like, who is Caitlin Reeves?
That's a complicated question.
Mm-hmm.
So I've lived in Murfreesboro my whole life, but I originally lived off Maple Street on the square,
Mm-hmm.
off the square. And then we moved in with my grandma. So I was kind of raised by like my grandparents and my parents. So that was nice because it was just different perspectives, I guess, like from two different generations. And a lot of people don't get to see their grandparents
Sure.
as often as I did. So it was really nice. And I was close with my grandpa, and I'm still close with my grandma. My mom had 2 rules growing up. She still does. Don't be disrespectful, even politely, I guess.
Oops. Sorry about that one.
And don't lie. So
it's a good one.
those were my 2 rules growing up. She's pretty chill. She's not like helicopter parent, which is good because no. But she's always like, just tell me. She's very blunt. So
that's true.
Yeah. She kind of expects the same from me. Like, I'll tell you if your outfit looks terrible, but you have to tell me if my outfit looks terrible. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So tell the truth. That goes with that, I guess. But yeah, I went to 2 magnet schools for elementary and middle school. I went to Discovery and Central. And then for high school, you already said this, but I went to Rockville. I played golf.
Now, were you there the year that it opened? Were you a freshman the year it opened?
So we were the first 4. Like, that's what our theme was for this year, was the first 4. But so we were the first full graduating class. I went to Rockville. I played golf for 5 years at Central and at Rockville. I was in DECA all of high school. Do you know what DECA is?
I do.
Okay. I was in DECA all of high school. I was president the last 2 years.
If you don't know what DECA is, it's essentially...
It's a business club. You do different, you do competitions, field trips, all this stuff. And
it's kind of centered around marketing, though, specifically.
Yeah,
right?
business, marketing, same thing. We have a lot of different competitions. We have startup business plan. I did sports and entertainment marketing my sophomore, junior, and senior year, and I made it to nationals my junior year. So that was fun.
That's awesome. And that's a big deal because there are thousands and thousands and thousands of kids in DECA.
It's insane. And then last year, or senior year, I was a yearbook editor. But other than that, I don't really do anything.
And you're going to be going to MTSU.
Yes.
Right? And what are you going to study at middle?
Sports media with a minor in some type of marketing, I think, possibly recording industry. We'll see.
That's pretty wide assortment of things there, right?
Yes. Well, I want to do social media for the NFL or a big like sports team. So.
Gotcha. What's your favorite sport?
To watch, probably football, because it's like action, and I'm never like bored watching it. I don't know all the terms, but I know like the general how it works, and that's all I need to know. So I'm not doing like a fantasy team, so I don't need to know all that. It's fine.
Gotcha. So let's start with some questions. And what would you say is your biggest accomplishment? And it doesn't necessarily have to be any specific thing, right? It doesn't have to be in DECA. It doesn't have to be grades. It doesn't have to be whatever. From your perspective only, what is your biggest accomplishment? Maybe it's the thing you're most proud of. Maybe it's the thing that was the hardest. Your favorite, your best accomplishment in high school.
In high school.
Or middle school. I don't really care when. Just your biggest accomplishment.
I would say, I know you said it didn't have to be grades, but I'd probably say like grades so that I could get into my dream school. MTSU was I'm going to hurt your feelings here. Okay. MTSU was not my dream school.
That's okay.
It was Alabama, and I got into Alabama, so that was really a big deal for me. I was very excited. I've been wanting to go there since like 4th grade. So that was pretty big for me. And then I think also just DECA in general was a very, very big part of high school for me. And I think that was definitely the hardest thing to like say goodbye to after graduating. I'm gonna do DECA at MTSU, so I'm not really like saying goodbye, but whatever. Just DECA
But
in
it won't be the
general.
same.
No, it's not the same people, not the same environment, but I'm excited. I know the president over at MTSU DECA. She graduated this past like recently. So I know her, but we've been talking about collegiate DECA for forever. But just DECA in general, I got them a Zoom meeting with like the Dallas Cowboys social media manager. So that was really cool. I'm in contact with him, and then just being president and making it to nationals and all that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so this one's fun. If you kind of take your just general outlook on things now, right? Like life and relationships and school and the future, whatever, right? Just your general outlook on things now. How does that compare to your outlook when you were an incoming freshman at Rockville?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Trying to think. I think now I give people a lot more grace than I did back then, and just keep loving. Like love people no matter what happens. Almost like keep your enemies closer than your friends. But um I know you said I don't take anyone's crap. I've definitely had to build that up. Like you can ask my mother. That's very true. I've definitely had to build that up. My freshman year, I I had a few friends, but I've never had like throughout high school, I've had a very small circle, and I'm okay with that. I having a lot of friends stresses me out because someone's always butthurt and someone's always just
Are we allowed to say that on here?
is
Okay.
that a bad word?
No, you're good. Go
Okay.
ahead. Carry on. Just
Some
checking with Trent.
someone's always like mad, and so I'm just like, okay, like I like having my small circle. So um but
Oh, I
dang, put your
apologize.
phone away,
Put your phone
man.
on silent.
Put
What
your
were you
phone
thinking?
on silent. Mom even took her vibrate off.
The
Dang.
disrespect.
I know. I'm so
Right.
sorry.
Politely disrespectful.
Not even polite. That was
That was just
totally
disrespectful.
impolite.
But I was in a not so good relationship freshman year, so I've gotten to learn that kind of like built up my walls, I think. And not walls that necessarily are like I don't let anyone in, but it's just like stand up for yourself and don't like put yourself down because of what other people say to you or are doing and all that. So I've learned to not take anyone's crap, and I think that's a good thing.
And here's the thing. It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt,
Right. No,
right?
for sure.
You can't be immune to it because then you're like a sociopath, right? So I mean,
Right.
that doesn't work. But it does mean that you started this exactly like I would probably say it, and that is you've learned to give more grace.
Yes.
And part of grace doesn't mean that you got to take their crap, but it does mean that you at least kind of like
Step back from it.
and allow them to give you crap. You just don't have to take it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's my thing is that so a few of the girls or like boys, whoever that I went to elementary school with, have gone to school with me throughout the years. And I know like some stuff that other people might not know about their home life and, their past and stuff like that. And all these people are saying, oh, I don't like him. I don't like her. But I'm like,
Context is important, right?
exactly.
And having a little bit of empathy,
Yes.
and generally, and this is what's kind of cool about you is that generally that comes with years of experience,
Yes.
right? Years of putting up with this or having this bad thing happen or that bad thing happen or whatever. And all of a sudden you realize, oh, I've been locked in my own little world and not giving anybody any of that grace. So that's pretty cool.
I think I'm a very empathetic person. So
That's awesome.
it has its pros and cons, you know.
All right, next one. You ready?
Sure. Throw it at me.
4 years of high school.
Yes.
What is the biggest surprise that you encountered?
How fake people are.
Okay.
That sounds so mean, but people are so fake. Like, it's not even funny, actually. It's like,
I mean, it's kind of funny,
it is
actually,
kind of funny.
especially when you catch them in it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that kind of like goes against what I just said about giving people grace, but like,
Well, you can recognize it and still give them grace for
yes,
it. You know?
like I said, like my past, I've had to learn to like put walls up, recognize fake people. I've learned to do that very well. So, you know, I can see right through people. And people are just so fake. I'm like, you are over here acting like you are best friends with this person and you come and talk crap about them? Like what? That's just
I'd like to tell you that
boggles
gets
me.
better.
I hope so.
It doesn't.
I know.
It doesn't. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, maybe just less talking and more acting.
Yeah. It's also not like a movie at all. High school's not like a movie.
Nobody
And-
sings in the hallways. There's not like High School
Well,
Musical and
they do.
just not well.
Not how you would imagine, no. It's then again, okay, I was so ready to graduate, and all my friends were like, "I'm not, like, I'm sad," and I thought eventually it would hit me. Like, I told all 3 of the people sitting over there, I was like, "It's gonna hit me, and I'm gonna start crying." I never cried. I have not cried yet, and I graduated on Saturday. I think part of that was, like, COVID. We didn't really have, like, a normal year of high school. We didn't have a normal high school experience whatsoever.
Mhm.
So it was like, I was just ready to be done. I was like,
Are you
"I'm
going to be
done."
the kid that goes back the first time that you have time off of a class and go visit all your teachers?
Yes, okay, everyone makes fun of my no, everyone makes
Don't
fun
do
of
that.
me because I'm best friends with my teachers. Shout out to Kevin Jones and Monica McKinney. Love y'all. Those are my 2 favorite people in the entire world. But Miss McKinney's moving to Stewart's Creek, so that would be awkward if I, like, showed up to Stewart's Creek and
It'd
was
be
like,
super weird. Yeah.
"Hey." But, Jones was my coach for only 2 years because we had a different coach my freshman year, but I was his teacher aide this year, and we're close, so I'm gonna miss my teachers, but other than that, I'm done. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So let's do this. What is the biggest misconception from people my age about people your age? Like what do I have totally wrong about your age?
Okay, the first one that comes to mind is that we're, like, always on our phones, and if we're always on our phones, then or, like, if we're always in our room, then we're, like, depressed or, like, something like that. Like, so I go to camp in Texas every summer for 3 weeks, and all of my, like, friends that I would consider my real friends, besides a select few here, obviously, that's the only way I can talk to them, and my mom doesn't do this, but I'm just giving this as an example. Like, she's not like, "Caitlin, you're always on your phone." She doesn't do that, but, um, it's very, like, it's more than just social media, it's more than just scrolling, it's more like, I have genuine conversations with my friends, like, on my phone, and, like, social media, that's how I keep up with everyone. That's how I know when my friends go to prom, that's how I know when a few of my friends from camp in, like, past years are getting married, having kids. I wouldn't know that if it wasn't for my phone, but then I do know that now because of social media, and I can be like, "Oh my gosh, like, I'm so happy for you," you know, because 'cause they're all grown and adults now, but I don't know, and just because we're, like, in our room all the time doesn't mean we're depressed, like, we're just it's like my room is like my safe space. I love my room. I love being in my room, and not because I'm trying to avoid everyone. It's just like a reset almost, you know what I mean?
Well, fun fact, that's not new. Okay. The Beach Boys, as a matter of fact, had a song called In My Room, and it was about exactly that
Yeah.
in the 60s.
Well, maybe it's just a misconception that I've heard. Again, my mother doesn't do that, I'm prefacing this.
All right.
She doesn't care.
So you brought something up and I want to ask this question.
Okay.
One of the things that we hear all the time in the call it mainstream media or whatever is that social media, and there's gazillions of them, right? I don't even know which one is the most popular now, TikTok or whatever, right? And
Probably
there's a
TikTok,
bunch of
yeah.
other ones as well. But social media puts an extra layer of pressure on people that didn't exist even for my generation, right? So I grew up in the 90s. We didn't have as much of that kind of body image pressure and the whatever, all the TikTok challenges and all this other crap. We didn't have all those pressures.
Right.
We still had pressure, right? I
Right.
was still the fat kid, which I was. You still had to have the right kind of shoes. You still had to all that kind of stuff. But do you think that social media is what's the word as much of a challenge, and that it does in fact put extra pressure on you that wouldn't exist if you didn't have it? You outlined some good stuff, right?
Yeah. That's a hard question because I feel like we haven't had a life without social media
That's a good point.
besides being kids. Like, and when you're kids, you don't really care. Um, so that's a very hard question for me to answer just because I don't know what it's like to not have like a pressure. Like, it just seems normal. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I haven't known what it's like without it. So I wouldn't say necessarily that it puts more pressure. I can't speak on that. But I think there definitely is a pressure. I just don't know that it's more than it would be without it,
'Cause you
or
have no frame of reference.
exactly.
Sure.
But I think there's just a pressure from it as soon as you download it, like, no matter what. But it's like, if I didn't have social media, would I still feel that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll tell you from my perspective, if I look at another realtor's social media, or I also own a brewery here in town, I
Right.
look at some of the other regional breweries and I see their social media, and I catch myself looking at that stuff or watching their reels or whatever, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm behind. Like, I can't keep up. Oh my, I should
Right.
have done that. I should have thought of that first or whatever. Do you ever?
I think from a business perspective, I'm very, like, already into all the business and marketing stuff. So I think from a business perspective, that should make you strive to do better. I don't think that if you see another businesses or another realtors social media and you like it and you're like, "Oh, I'm behind," that should be a key in, like, something hit your brain and be like, "Okay, I need to work harder on it." You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
shouldn't necessarily be like, "Oh, mine sucks," because I don't.
What if it does suck?
I would tell you if it sucked.
Okay,
So,
appreciate
if
that.
that makes you feel better. It doesn't, by the way, you're fine.
Okay, that's good.
Um,
Well, it's because your mom works on the real estate one anyway.
yeah, well, she's good with Canva.
Mhm.
And you do good about aiming to your target market. You know what I mean? Like, I see your like, the brewery and stuff, and I'm like, "Okay, like, I like that."
Old people will love it.
Exactly. No offense. No offense, guys. But yes.
Plenty taken. See what I mean?
But
Politely disrespectful. She even said no offense.
right. Respectfully, guys. I don't remember what the question was to answer
That's
it
all right.
personally,
That's all
but
right. That ship sailed
oh, okay.
when you talked about old people.
Oh, all right.
What's something about, and I wrote generation, but you'd say age group, your graduating class. I don't care. Somebody around your age. What's something about that demographic, that group, that if you could, you would blanket change, right? You would erase this aspect of them, or you would add this aspect of them, or whatever. Where do you guys have it wrong?
Pettiness. Let's not be petty.
What's that mean to you?
Sometimes it can be a little fun, but so, like, I'm trying to think. Just because you used to be best friends with someone and you see them with a new best friend or in a relationship or whatever the case is, doesn't mean you have to hate that person, like the other person. I dare say your replacement, but not that extreme, but
To be happy for somebody.
right. Because like I know for me, a lot of times it's like if I cared about that person so much, I'm just happy that they found someone that they're happy with or that they can be good friends with.
You're
That's
not jealous that it's you
every once in a while. It depends on who it
or
is.
that it's not you, I guess.
Right. It depends on who it is, but I do get jealous, and I think that that's probably even I'll admit I do that. And so I think that's probably another thing that I would change. Just like it's okay. Like calm down, you know.
Do you think that's unique to your generation, or do you think that that's human nature?
No, I think it's human nature, but I think we just exhibit it a lot differently, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how y'all's generation does it.
Mhm. Do you think that perhaps exhibiting it more is because people my age have encouraged you to consistently speak your mind and stand up for yourselves and, you know, like it's almost a form of entitlement in a way? Like
I
I should be
feel
allowed to say this because I'm special.
yeah, I feel like our generation is very entitled. Like, if they have something to say, they're gonna say it. And, that's how I am most of the time, but I know I can say it to you,
Right.
but, I if I was in an interview or if I was, somewhere else, I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't
that in
necessarily make an old bald joke.
exactly.
Okay.
That's
That's
only
good
to
to know.
you, and my dad sometimes, but he's got a little more hair.
Yeah, well, God made so many perfect heads and the rest he put
Okay,
hair on.
okay, that
Yeah.
joke's old. Like you.
Like me. Yeah,
Yep,
there you
there
go.
you
All right. All right. All right.
go.
Noted. Got it. All right. What is something that you are extremely optimistic about?
The future okay, I'm not trying to get, like, political,
That's okay.
but the
Get political.
future of politics in general, because I think our generation or, like, our age group and the age group above us, which would be, like, the millennials, I think, um, we view things very differently than the older generations, and right now, politics is a lot of boomers and like, the oldest
My
gen
age and older.
yes.
Mhm.
I think they're older than you, but
Some of them, but my age is pretty involved as well.
yeah.
40s and up.
Yeah. So, we view things very differently, and that's okay, but it's hard when you're making different laws and different, decisions, and half the population doesn't agree with you. And it's like, we're not old enough at this point to really, like I guess 18 you can vote, but, you know, I just turned 18, like, 2 weeks ago, so it's like, we don't really have a say in it, so to speak. So, I don't know, I think I'm very optimistic about having and some people, they're terrified of it, but me, I'm very optimistic about having our generation or the generation above us be the oldest ones in the political world, making the decisions, giving the decisions, all that.
Gotcha. So, flip side question: what are you pessimistic about?
I don't know. Um, it's a hard question.
Mhm. Yin and yang. You're optimistic about something. You got to be
Right,
pessimistic about something else.
right. I don't know, cause
We're not coming back to it. You're going to answer it.
I
It's going to
know,
be awesome.
I know. I know we're not coming back to it. That's how you roll.
That's right.
You coulda sent me this list.
I could have, but that would have
Ugh.
been terrible.
Oh, okay, I would've been too prepared. Um, maybe just okay, I say, like, politics I'm optimistic about, but the future in general is just a little scary. Cause okay, on, like, the law side of things, I'm optimistic about, but, like, I feel like our generation, when they become like war generals or whatever they're called now, they're just gonna be like, let's go to
They're still
war.
called the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Generals. Mhm.
Okay. They're just gonna be like, yeah, let's go to war. No, let's think about this for a second. I don't know. The thought of war just scares me. Like,
So a
that's
little
terrifying.
impulsive. Is that what you?
Yes, that's a good word for it.
Mhm.
I can say it.
Well,
Very
hopefully that
impulsive.
gets tempered with experience, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
Right.
But as of right now, that's a little scary. Just be like, yeah, let's do this. Oh, okay. Let's think about it.
All right. This one's tough.
Oh gosh, that last
Okay.
one was tough
No,
too.
no, no. This one's way harder.
Oh gosh.
All right. And you've sort of already answered this, so maybe it's not necessarily from your perspective. So maybe you answer it more from like your friend's perspective and their relationship with their parents. Okay. But
Okay.
this is for the parents of teenagers out there. Okay.
Okay.
What's something that you wish you could talk to your parents about that you just couldn't? Like a topic, a specific event. What is something that you really wish you could have, but for whatever reason, you just couldn't? Forget that she's sitting here.
I talk to her about everything,
know.
so that's a very hard
I know, I
question
get
for
it.
me.
But maybe you've seen your friends are like, man, I really wish I could talk to my parents about it, but they just couldn't.
I think mental health would be a big one. For me, just started talking about it recently, not because
What does mental health mean to you? Like, elaborate on that for me.
feeling for me, it's anxiety. Not just being like, "Oh my gosh, like this big thing is happening, I'm anxious." Like it being like constant. And I think that was really hard for me to come to terms with. Like, okay, Caitlin, think about this. Like, this is how you're constantly feeling.
And in your head, you know better,
In my head, I'm like,
but in all the rest of you, you're like,
right, exactly. I had to come to terms with it. And I think that made it harder for me to talk to my mom about it, maybe at least for a little while,
mhm.
because it was like, okay, maybe it's just like, I'm just anxious about this thing that's coming up, you know? But I know people that are having panic attacks every night, having like bad thoughts, like all this scary stuff. Like it's scary. And I feel like a lot of people I know don't have a great relationship with their parents. So maybe it's just, you know, that. But I just feel like it's very hard to talk about because a lot of parents are just like, okay, like you're fine. Just be happy. Like,
yeah, do you know how good you got it? You just need to get over it.
right,
Mhm.
exactly. Like you go to school, you have a good home, I feed you,
You don't know real stress.
Exactly. Like you're not even an adult yet. When in reality, yes, that could be true, but it's like there's so much more to it than just having a nice house, having food on the table, having a family to support you. Like there's more to it. And sometimes it is like a actual like illness, like it's a chemical imbalance. You can't
Well,
help it.
I will tell you this. So, from my perspective, I struggle with anxiety myself. And one of the things that I get anxious about, it's interesting that you said what you said, is all the time that I spend providing for my kids, right? And for my family, for my wife, all the time that I spend doing that is time that I don't spend teaching my kids how to not be anxious.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. So then I look back at it and I'm like, I just blew 4 years, and
Yeah.
then I get anxious about that and they're anxious because they don't know how to cope with something and we haven't had a great relationship because I spend all the time trying to provide for them. Like, you
Yeah.
see the cycle here?
Mhm.
And that's tough.
I think of course I'm not a parent, but I feel like a lot of anxiety could also come from like, "Oh, I didn't do something good enough," or, "Oh, they're not ready." Like, for parents, my mom, obviously, I'm staying here for college, but, like, the people who have kids going somewhere, like, out of
Mhm.
state or even an hour and a half away, they're like, "I haven't prepared them, they don't know what they're doing," and that I feel like
What if they
especially
break down on the side of the road and an axe murderer gets them
right.
or whatever?
I feel like
Mhm.
especially for parents of seniors this year, it's very, like and seniors any year, but, that I feel like would cause me a lot of anxiety. I'd be like, well, even if I know, like, okay, I prepared them, they know what they're doing. In my head, I'd at the same time be like, they have no clue what they're doing. I'm sending them off and they're gonna blow all their money on one thing and they're gonna be broke and they're not gonna know how to eat and, all the things. So
Yes. Yes, all the things.
luckily you get another year with me. You have one more year to worry about that at least.
Thanks. Right? Maybe. I'm not sure. All right. Last question.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah. Are you you're not anxious about this at all?
I was, but I'm fine now. Like, it's just you.
All
It's
right.
better than pitch. Those pitches I was a little
Oh,
anxious
I was like,
about.
the what? Oh, but you said pitch with a
Pitch with a
P,
P.
as in Paul. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, who are you talking about? Anyway, okay.
You. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
well,
kidding.
All right. You're done with high school.
Yep.
Okay. Incoming freshmen.
Again.
No, incoming high school
Oh.
freshmen.
Oh.
One piece of sage advice for them.
One? I do two.
You can do two.
Okay. I kind of already said, like, my motto, keep loving. Like, unless someone does, like, something really, really bad, like, love them anyways, but, you can.
Doesn't mean you got to hang out with them.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Always love, just no matter what, because that's just good, like, And then don't listen to people when they say it's bad to be close with your teachers. It is not bad to be close with your teachers whatsoever. My friends made so much fun of me for saying hi to, like, every single one of my teachers walking down the hallway. And I think if I was not close with them, I'm not saying my teachers bumped my grade up. That never happened. It wasn't like, "Oh, I'm giving you grace." Like, they gave me some grace, but that grace was over little things that happened. It was like, "Hey, I had this funeral to attend," or I had, like, a really bad anxiety night, or I had a bad blood sugar, like, because 'cause I'm diabetic. So, um, like, I was in the hospital last night, whatever it was.
A little bit of benefit of the doubt, right?
Right. It
Mhm.
was like, "Okay, you're good. Just you can turn in tomorrow," or, just I'll give you no credit. Like, I'll just cut the grade out completely. Whatever. They don't your teachers might, like, add 2 points to your grade so you have an A. Like, I don't know. That never happened to me. But it was very, like, the little things that they gave me grace for, and I don't think they would have done that if I wasn't close with them. And now I have connections. My coach went to MTSU, and he does graphic design. So that, of course, has to go with marketing, like, and that's what I wanna do. So he knows people over there, and my history teacher, she, like, probably knows people. It's like the later you get in high school, the more you're gonna want to have those connections because they can give you jobs. Like, they know people, and if you talk about this all the time, if they don't know someone, they know someone that knows someone. It's all connected.
Well, and you can never be too connected,
Uh-uh.
right? And I look at it as your connectedness is your ability to get something done,
Mhm.
right? Whether it's for you, whether it's for the person that you're talking to, right? So maybe I'm connected to that person and I can get something done for them, and not that you do it in order to receive, but I look at it like this. I just take care of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Network, network,
I just take care of
network.
people. And
Yep.
generally they take care of me,
Yep.
in some way.
I've seen
shape, or
that
form.
with you and your people,
Yep.
whoever it may be. They're like, "Oh, yeah, I love him." Yeah, whatever.
You're like, you do? That's funny.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Closing thoughts.
MTSU, if you're listening, thank you for bringing Phoebe Bridgers to Murfreesboro. And Jack Harlow. Even though I didn't get to go, that's kind of sad, but it's fine. It's fine. And Olivia O'Brien. All these good people.
Trent, do you know any of these folks?
Jack Harlow, kind of Phoebe. I don't know the Olivia person.
Okay.
Well,
We're old. Don't judge
Dude.
us.
MTSU, this is a request.
To keep it going.
Bring Taylor Swift next year.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Or Gracie Abrams. I love Gracie Abrams.
I've known one name that she said, and that
Who?
was Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah.
Okie dokie.
I love Taylor Swift. That's my last thought. I'm gonna leave it at that. I love Taylor Swift.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
That's a good note to end it on. Trent, you got anything?
Nah, man, just the usual. Push and record. Got amazing opportunities to connect you with amazing content and community and connection and all the things.
Do I
And
get to come back, guys?
yeah.
Can I come back?
Maybe
You want
on
an
somebody
internship?
else's show.
Okay.
You want an internship for real? For real?
Yeah, for real.
All right, come on down.
You make it really hard to be nice to you when you act like this. Okay.
I don't.
You told me I had to be nice to you on this, and
I did
you're-
not.
Yes, you did. You were like, Caitlin, you have to be
No,
somewhat nice to
Oh,
me.
see, somewhat nice.
Okay.
That's totally
Well,
different.
you're making that kind of hard. I'm
Okay.
just saying. Just letting you know.
You heard it here first. Oh, that's gold.
He's the trifling one here.
Oh yeah, petty, right?
Yeah,
Petty.
yeah.
Yes.
What the young folks say. That's what you call us.
You see, y'all. See, here you go.
Bro.
This is what I was talking about.
Whatever.
Anyway,
whatever.
you got a real estate need, give me a shout. You got a mortgage need, give my friend Brian a shout. If you're hiring somebody that wants to help with your social media and whatnot,
I just
give my
Or
friend Caitlin
anything.
a shout.
anything.
All right.
If you need help with anything.
That's it.
help
Yep.
with anything.
That's it.
Anything.
And MTSU bring Olivia something or another.
Oh, they
Taylor
already did
Swift.
that. Taylor Swift.
That's not going to happen.
It might. You
It's
never know.
not. It's not going to happen.
You won't know until you try.
Hey,
I'm pretty
That's-
sure.
Okay,
That's-
well,
They'll bring Taylor Swift
you
in
tried?
about 35 years is when she'll end up being out here.
Okay, perfect. A reunion tour. I'll come back.
It'll be quite a different era, if you will. See what
I
Ah.
see what you did there.
Jonathan, can I leave you with a joke?
Oh,
Yes,
please
always.
do. Yes.
What's a DJ's favorite Taylor Swift tour?
I don't know.
Era.
Trent, you stole my joke.
I got it.
What the heck?
Just
Okay, well,
said
never
that.
mind. My joke was ruined.
Can't win them all. We'll see y'all next time.
Oh, that's good stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a good week.